what's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Misguided Podcast, where we intend to guide you to a better future. My name is Michael Johnson, and I'm here with my co-host,
Juwan Rohan. What's good? What's good? Happy Sunday. I guess it's going to be Wednesday for y'all when this is released. But we got a special guest, Cornelious, a good friend.
Yo, what's up, man? I'm glad to be here.
Yes, sir.
Glad to have you.
So today we're gonna go through like the whole episode and then kind of hear his story in our Hella Misguided segment. He has an interesting story, and I've known this kid for damn near, I don't know.
Man, we've been playing basketball for some years now, since we was little.
For real. So we're gonna catch up because man, we ain't spoken a while. You feel me? You went to college. You went to like hella different colleges.
Man, we just fell off.
Yeah. But it's funny because we actually live like, or not no more, but we live like a couple blocks from each other back in Berkeley, our parents. So, we'll get into everything, man. Today we're going to start off with music, though. Any music stuck out to you guys? Today's Sunday, so music releases on Friday. Have you had time to digest things?
Man, I mean, for me, that Aminè album was pretty cool.
Fire. What was the name of it?
Thing. What was it called?
Fuck, I'll look it up.
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
The Aminè album was cool. Obviously, everybody was talking about WAP, the Meg Thee Stallion, and Cardi B.
That song alright.
That's what I said. We were just talking about it, bro.
I mean, that's a female song, man. Yeah. My girlfriend like that song. I ain't,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm a big fan of Meg. I think she's been coming out with some hits. That one was, it was cool. It's gonna get all the attention because you got two heavy hitters. On there, but yeah, I thought it was cool. It was alright. Like, it wasn't nothing special.
Y'all see the video?
I didn't watch the video.
No, I ain't watched it.
Don't watch it with your girl. But yeah, dope. It was actually pretty dope video, and like whoever's house that is just massive. Like they filmed it in like a mansion, but it's pretty dope. Yeah, I think it's Cardi B's house, but I could be wrong. But yeah, Cardi B low key like sucks. Like I'm not a big fan. Megan kind of went hard on the verse.
Yeah,
though.
I never thought she was the best rapper.
Nah, she's a great entertainer, which I love.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I support everything.
I mean, yeah, that's why she's big. That's why she's popular. She's very charismatic.
She's a pop star.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's all about image, really.
Yeah, definitely.
It's all about image. Like she can relate more to like the culture, the black culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cardi and Meg, especially what they do and how they go about. So.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We still gotta figure out what the hell happened to Meg, man. Like they recorded that before she got shot in the foot, but like
I know.
I didn't even think they would release it. Like how they just gonna release it and not give us a story? Like we still left in the dark. There's no word from Tory. He hasn't posted on any social. Like
it's looking bad for Tory though.
Oh, it's extremely. His song came on yesterday like 3 times and I just skipped it because I don't know what to do.
Exactly, because I was a huge Tory Lanez fan.
I'm conflicted.
Like, I'm not I can't support a dude who like, you feel me, like that's just
not even domestic. It is a domestic abuse, but bro tried to. He shot her.
I'm saying,
bro, you can kill her.
Like
that's not just like pushing her.
Yeah, like it sucks, but I don't think I'll be able to support him. You feel me? Like maybe I listened to all his music before he did that.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do.
That's everything.
That's what I do with Michael Jackson. Like I listened to all his music when he was black.
Oh my god. Do you listen to R. Kelly before?
No,
there's no before.
Exactly, there's no before.
Bro just started like.
I stopped listening to
R. Kelly. R. Kelly's a
which sucks though because you think about it, he was like one of the top 5 greatest singers.
Yeah,
musicians.
Yeah,
maybe not singer, but musicians who can put work together.
Yeah, definitely. You can't listen to
him. That sucks. And he was like the great wedding person. Like now
Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. Step in the Name of Love. Yeah.
I don't even play it no more. I was family barbecue though.
I know more. Bro.
That's facts, man. But shit. Back to the Aminè though. The album is called Limbo, and it's really, really, really dope. There's a little snippet where he's like telling about how Kobe has infected him and, and matured him in a way. And I think, at first I was like, come on, bro, where are you going with this? But then when he ended, I was like, oh, that was actually really smart because the way he said it was like, like, I'm 26 and I'm just now learning how to, like, do taxes and kind of mature. And now I want a house and kids and not just this jewelry and...
Yeah, I thought it was hella dope. He basically said that when Kobe died, he kind of felt like he lost part of his innocence.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of lost part of that, that youth feeling because, like, You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
we were all young. Like, Kobe, he's definitely my hero. He's my GOAT. And a lot of people have that same sentiment. So I was like, I super connected to what he was saying on that. Like, I thought it was really clean that he added that to his album.
I still remember that day. I still remember that day when Kobe passed.
I do too. I don't think I'll ever forget it, bro.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. I seen it on TV. I was just like, I was with my girlfriend. We was getting ready to go to church, and it was just like, we seen that, and we was just like, wow.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. But he got a song on the Limbo album. He got a song called Roots with JID and Charlie Wilson. JID legend. Do you guys mess with him?
With JID, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. You can't call JID a legend and not mention Charlie Wilson as a
I am.
Charlie Wilson's the legend.
I'm going down the list of where it says the features. Though,
JID is wrong for sure.
All right, man. Charlie Wilson is a legend too. I'm sorry. Okay. I got a song with Summer Walker. And my favorite song so far is My Reality. It's at the end. It's his outro.
For sure.
He talks about, it's pretty much him maturing. You could kind of see in his album, he goes from like a kid to maturing. So you can kind of see that progress if you listen to it from first to last. Pretty dope.
For sure. Yeah, I haven't listened to it all the way through yet, but I definitely will. That's a good one. Shoot, anything you listen to this past, not even maybe this week,
it could be
before.
Yeah, still listening to some other stuff.
Man, let's see. I'm behind when it comes to the music.
Yeah, for sure.
I just listen to whatever.
What you be listening to the car? When you...
We used to go to Berkeley High with him, C5.
You been listening to C5?
Yeah,
I
kind of rock with his music.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
He's getting a whole lot better. I listened to his recent album that he just dropped for his project.
For sure.
He's pretty good.
C5 is pretty raw. I mess with him too. That's funny because I hadn't listened to him for a minute because me and Juwan went to his listening party he had like 2 years ago. And I was listening to that album, and I hadn't listened to him, but then this week I put some on from him, like, randomly. But I messed with that song he has with Young T.O. I think it's called Every Day, but yeah.
That sounds like his #1 song. They play that shit, like, on the radio and shit.
Yeah, he has some hit stuff.
Yeah, bro. He, much respect to C5. We'll get him in here one of these days.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's cool. Any other Bay Area artists? Like, I know his homie, Kendall. Kente, he be dropping shit. There's hella Bay Area artists popping over.
And it's a lot Bay Area music.
I'm gonna give you some people to listen to. You might like MB Neal. You heard of him?
No, I heard of him.
Alright, check him out. He's from Stockton. He's like an Asian Crip, but he cool. His music cool though. His music cool.
Oh my.
I'm saying. I don't think I ever heard that.
Yeah, Asian Crip, bro. But they deep out there in Stockton. Oh, we gotta watch that Stockton thing.
Oh, you know, promoting? I know.
Yeah, it's like, but yeah, let's move on to books and podcasts. Any books and podcasts you've been listening to?
Still on the same book. Still trying to get through the Power of Habit. It's a dense book.
You ever heard of that?
Slow.
Power of Habit.
Power of Habit. It's a good book. It's basically about like just the way to go about because you can't really change your habits or change people's habits, but kind of just I guess catering to them to kind of get the most effectiveness out of a person. But that's a really good one. And like I mentioned on the last one, just rereading Rich Dad Poor Dad. That one's always like a good one for me to refer back to. But still nothing new on the with any books for me. Yeah, still trying to finish this one. Then after that, probably move on to something else. I have like a huge library of audiobooks that I just haven't got into yet. Yeah. What about you?
I've been listening to the Burr book by David Green.
Yeah,
Burr is like a real estate strategy. It's like buying real estate and then doing a bunch of stuff and trying to grow your capital and stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool. You should look into it. We talk about it a lot on here. Like, we're big real estate people.
Yeah, we pretty much mention like every podcast.
every podcast.
Yeah. That's good though.
It's cool, bro. If you want to grow your wealth, bro, just listen to our podcast.
It's good because most people don't be thinking about like real estate. And
Exactly.
That's exactly why we try and.
That's why we try to promote it. Like we're big on getting into it ourselves, but if we can spark other minds to pull the trigger on getting into real estate, that's great for it. Any type of generational wealth building within our community is that's what we're about. So
trying to educate and then show you how, or like at least do the studying, the pre-studying. That way we're not giving you false information.
Yeah.
But we try and share the stuff that they don't teach us in school.
Exactly. Like some of those things like we don't know about, we don't get taught about. It's basically till like after you out of school. I learned more things outside of school than when I did when I was in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ain't it crazy how they still don't have taxes classes in school where they teach you your taxes? Still, like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
But yeah, anyways, the Bird book I've been listening to, and then podcasts. Let's see. Obviously, the Bigger Pockets. It's a real estate podcast, but let's see. Any new shit that I downloaded? I don't think so. I've been listening to a lot of the Joe Budden shit because he keeps me up on my culture, so I don't have to because sometimes I don't really have time to go through Twitter, go through Instagram, and kind of catch up. Yeah. So if I just listen to the Joe Budden, I'm caught up. You feel me? So I could go off of what they talk about and bring it here, and we can talk about it. You feel me?
Nah, I respect that. I'm not a Joe Budden fan, but
why? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because my girl not either.
He just seemed like a troll, you know. Like he seemed like a hater. Like I just I'm.
Do you have a friend from New York? Like a very close friend from New York?
Well, are you gonna tell me that all New York people are like that? Or what?
I'm gonna tell you their demeanors are like that. Yeah.
No, they definitely have a different demeanor. No, I don't have any close friends from New York.
Oh, okay. It's just because I think the way he the way he talks comes off trollish, crazy, ignorant, all that, arrogant, whatever word you want to throw in there. Yeah. But I think it's also because of where he's from, and you kind of gotta understand that culture.
Man,
because you see, if you listen to his podcast, you see his friends will shut that shit down right there.
For sure. But I just feel like the guy's a hater. But I mean, I've met New York people. Oh, New York people are pretty cool.
Nah, fuck New York.
Joe Budden.
Do we already listen to this?
Joe Budden doesn't seem cool to me.
Nah, I feel like I just want to know why, because my girl thought the same, and I think it's just the way he talks that she don't like. But we'll find out. Let's see. Any news, man? What you been reading on Twitter and shit?
Man, all
Instagram.
All the shit with Donald Trump, man,
he just signed this is big news. He just signed the order to for unemployment benefits instead. So last week ended with $600 extra a week on unemployment. He just signed an order to keep it at $400 now. Now, I don't like this because he said, I moved it from 600 to 400 because I want you to get motivated to go back to work. I was like, well, if you want them to get motivated, then why are you adding an extra $400 to unemployment? They're still getting paid more than we are at work, putting ourselves at risk.
Well,
it made no sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, none of anything that's going on really makes sense to me. This political stuff, they're trying to, they're saying that people are making more money with unemployment than going back, so people aren't motivated to go back to work. But then at the same time, who's hiring? People are millions of people are getting laid off. Nobody's really hiring right now. So how are you expecting people to really I really don't know what the I don't know what their end goal with anything is. They're there's a bunch of holdups on adding more the more of the aid packages. I don't know, things are just all around a mess to me, and I it's kind of hard to speak on because I don't really agree with any of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
How do you jumpstart the economy? How would you guys start the economy in times like this? Or do we just keep going down?
I don't know. That's what
you just gotta find solutions. I think for him, he's like a boomerang. He just keeps going around in a circle. Yeah. In a sense where he doesn't really have a set plan. 1 minute, he'll be, he'll say this, and then he'll go back to this. And
exactly.
With the pandemic,
one minute he's saying the pandemic is, it's not as serious as
exactly.
this and that. The next minute he's saying it's gonna be a tough 6 months for the country, and it's like you just said that.
So
he doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, so one of the big things is he just got basically censored by all the major social media platforms because for saying that this happened last week, for saying that kids are immune to the coronavirus.
Yeah, and Facebook took him down.
What kind of information is that? Where are you getting that? No doctors, no WHO or CDC has said anything about kids being immune. So where do you have the credentials to come out and just tell the masses? And there's a lot of people that listen to you. There's a lot of people that actually mess with Donald Trump that take his information for fact. Yeah. You don't just tell people kids are immune. What?
You just focus on the wrong things. Yeah. Man. I see he really so passionate about banning TikTok.
I know.
I don't get that. Like, I really don't get that.
Said
like, why you focus on the wrong thing?
Exactly.
Like,
a U.S. company has to buy TikTok or else they're banned in 45 days.
That makes no sense.
But you know how long, like, bruh, that's crazy. That's just, bruh,
Right.
he's irritating me. He's trying to do everything he can because he knows either this could be his last couple months in presidency.
I hope so. I really hope so.
But he's not going easy, bro. Like, he's not going easy. If he knows he's finna lose, he's finna do some fucked up shit. And then when he loses, he gonna do some more fucked up shit. Like, he not going easy. He already said it. But back to the point, though, where you were saying, hey, he's like a boomerang. So I was working on a song, and I needed some Trump clips of him talking about the corona, because he does go back and forth. So I wanted to show that in the song. So I did like hella research, and on YouTube, there's an hour length of like video of him just going back and forth. He'll say one thing, they'll counter it with another thing of him saying
that he
the
said
opposite.
Himself. That's crazy.
And then it's just an hour of him saying shit just about the corona alone. Like, imagine all the other shit he says.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, damn, I gotta go through all this to find like the right clip that fits my lyric that I said. Like, God,
He just as delusional as Kanye West.
I'm saying
He
it really
is.
That's disgusting.
Crazy
man.
part is, like, I actually, like, I don't know. If, like, everyone teamed up to vote for Kanye, which it can't happen because he's not going to run correctly, but I probably would have voted for Kanye. Like,
That's terrible. That's a terrible thing to say.
it is. No, it is, but
terrible thing to
it's facts. Would you vote for Kanye or Trump? Both terrible,
I
right?
wouldn't vote for either of them, man.
So you would just not vote and then just leave it up to the people?
Man, I vote for Harambe or so. I don't
Yeah.
know.
You would type your own name in on the ballot. Like, no, but you know, they say like when you don't vote or when you vote for someone who's not even running, so like all the people voting for Kanye are going to take away from the Biden votes.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Affect, you know, Trump can possibly win because now we got these black people voting for Kanye and he can't.
I know that's what happened in the last election. That's why I made that joke. There's like 17,000 people that voted for Harambe, like a dead gorilla. Like people were not voting.
I actually remember that.
People were not voting for the Democratic Party, and that's why that's what helped Trump.
But
Trump
it's
win.
crazy though when that whole election was going on with Trump and I think it was
Hillary.
Yeah, Hillary. It was just like we didn't take it serious as we were supposed to as far as voting.
Absolutely.
And this time around, this is the second time we don't get no thirds of charm.
Yeah.
We don't get this right.
Man,
it can go worse than what it is now.
Absolutely. In other news, New Zealand just marked their 100th day without a COVID infection. And in one of the articles I was reading, what they cited as being helpful for them was having great leadership. And that's something that we clearly don't have. But it's possible to run a country and they're over here over 3 months without an infection.
Are they open?
I believe so. I believe they're open.
Like, well, are they all like on a certain stage or what's open?
I'm not 100% on everything that's open there, but that's something that we could look more and update.
Yeah, because like,
but it's
that's
like it took us
100 days.
It took us like 4 months just to acknowledge the fact that there was a virus. We have our leader over here saying that it's not even real, calling it the Kung flu. Like what?
That was terrible, man. It's just like we had all these when I was looking, doing my research. You had like Spain and Italy and all these other countries was just shutting everything down.
Yeah.
And then you have us, we complaining about just small things like wearing a face mask. But, at the same time, it's like, if we complaining about this, and then you got, states like, in Georgia and Florida, you got people being outside and all this other stuff, and it's just like, we as a people didn't take it serious.
It does not make any sense. We still don't. And now our president is saying that he wants New York to open all of their schools. He wants all
New York was the number one.
Exactly. And he wants all these states to reopen their schools in a couple weeks. Like, but it doesn't make any sense at all. Like,
so I'm reading about New Zealand. So New Zealand on Sunday marked 100 days since it was able to, eliminate the spread of it. They went into this strict lockdown, right after like 100 people tested positive. So just 100 people. If I remember correctly, there was like almost 100 people on that goddamn boat that docked in California when they brought the coronavirus. And we didn't even do no type of lockdown until how many months later? Like, man. So they went into the strict lockdown after 100 people were affected, and then it started working. Mind you, it's home to 5 million people in New Zealand.
Right. So they're obviously a lot smaller than us.
Yeah. The country has reported just over 1,500 COVID cases and only 22 deaths since the lockdown. And then now they're into 100 days of no spread of the virus, which is, I'm about to move there. I'll see y'all. We packing the podcast up. Let's go. They got Zoom now. That's crazy. Congrats to New Zealand.
Yeah, congrats to positive leadership. You know,
we don't got that over here.
Is there a leader called a Prime Minister or what?
New Zealand? We're not 100% sure.
Right.
Well, it's not Donald Trump. That's all.
Facts.
Facts. Well, shit. Any other current news we missed?
Shoot.
I've been looking. Yesterday, I looked up some. I'm trying to buy some new work clothes. So I Googled some black business clothing businesses.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to shout out any if you know any? I was looking up some shit because I was looking for some new clothes, some new swag.
Black clothing businesses, man. Other than your brand, Till Infinity, which we always shout out.
Till Infinity. Come cop some shit.
Man,
I got some. I'll name some.
Go ahead.
So I was looking. There's Undefined Clothing. They're kind of like lifestyle stuff. We have sorry, all these ads are popping up. African Rich. Definitely pro black. We have We Wear Wavy.
Are these ones you're naming off of the Bay Area based, or they?
No, they're everywhere. I looked pretty much. They're think of H&M type of stuff. Right. So I just looked up hella shit that's kind of affordable. Cause then when I first searched it, I searched black clothing brands and hella expensive shit. Like a T-shirt was $325 at this dude named Pyre Moss. I guess he's pretty popping, but I was all right, I'm not finna pay $325.
But you know, it's been the blessing in disguise with this whole pandemic is you have, people being creative and starting to start their own business and trying to, start their, not just with clothing, but just with, just starting their own food business or, females with makeup and lashes and, just all these little things. I have my older brother, Sherman. Yeah, he's starting this little business, Party Fave. Shout out to Party Fave.
What's the business?
They customize shirts, masks. They doing birthday parties. With
That's
all
cool.
this other stuff.
That's dope.
It's just shout out to all the the young black kings and queens who starting their own little business in this whole pandemic and making money off of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta do it, legit too, and stay structured to I guess the government, because you don't want to fall behind and mess up on taxes or anything. If you're starting a business, always talk to a professional. I'd say instead of going in blindly, because there's a lot of mistakes you can make. As we've learned over the years, but respect to everyone out there doing business, and if you're a black clothing brand that's listening to this, let me know so I could check out. Like I said, I was trying to find some stuff to support.
For sure, most definitely.
Oh, any black restaurants in the Bay y'all went to recently?
Oh man,
let's see. I went to one, not to one.
Man, yeah, I went to got quite a few. Maybe not within this last 3 weeks, but just in this last couple months. There's Kennedysia over in San Leandro on East 14th.
I gotta check that one out. I heard about that one.
Bro, it's super good. It's
what they got there?
It's Liberian food. So they got a bunch of traditional West African dishes. I'm Nigerian, so a lot of stuff I'm familiar with. But jollof rice, a lot of different kind of stews and oxtail, and they use a lot of heavy stew based in marinated meats and stuff.
Okay.
But it's fire.
Is stew
really
big in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Is that
It's huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's if we were to go to Nigeria, what's a food you'd be bro, you gotta try this? First, we were off the plane, you you gotta try this.
Definitely. You definitely find a spot with some jollof rice.
Jollofa?
Jollof.
Yeah.
What's that rice?
It's just so it's not specific to Nigeria.
Okay.
But it's big in Nigeria. It's big in a lot of different African cultures.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just a type of rice. It's like a fried type of rice.
Okay.
They make it different ways. Have different meats, different vegetables inside of it.
Dope.
Obviously fufu, which is big. There's a man. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of different lot of different soups. There's a lot of different desserts. There's something called moi moi. It's really good. It's almost like a tamale.
I think I've had that actually. Yeah, it's pretty bomb. Yeah. I think I've had that at like a truck.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's cool. But yeah, that place is really good. Obviously like I think I mentioned Carmen's Barbecue, which is over in Hayward.
In Hayward, right? Yeah.
Black owned.
I still haven't been there. Goddamn. But that's so
good.
Far from here.
I'm close to these places. I don't even
Yeah.
Man, everybody knows about Everett Jones.
I literally just went there like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, everybody knows. They did. Oh, I think we talked about it on the last podcast. They did some really cool stuff on like one of these Sundays where they just had like a DJ outside and like everyone was coming in, driving by, staying 6 feet apart, grabbing their barbecue and then leaving. But they had like a DJ outside and shit outside, and it was pretty dope.
For sure, man.
So shout out to Everett and Jones. It's cool because it's right down the street from my mom's house. The only thing is like they plates be hella expensive. I'd be like, damn.
But it'd be good though.
They be good.
I'm not gonna lie. It's worth it.
But yeah, for sure.
Oh, and then man, there's a big one, Nigerian place called Ego Kitchen that is super good, but they actually just went up in flames not too long ago.
In Oakland?
No, it's in SF. Her place caught on fire, but she's like 24, 25.
How?
She owns a restaurant. It's called Ego Kitchen. Super good. I think she's so
What's her name?
Shout out to Ego Kitchen, EKO Kitchen, because I think she has like a fundraiser trying to
we could get her here.
help get back on track. We probably could, yeah. But her food is dope. So hopefully they find her.
I'm gonna tell her to come here.
Man. Yeah.
Oh shit! It's 15 reviews on Google, which no one ever rates Google, and it's 5 stars.
Yeah, she was like featured in some big Bay Area newspapers and stuff. Like her food is really good, man. Hopefully they get back on their feet.
Where's North Auburn? Where's Auburn?
I'm not sure.
Maybe this is not the right. You said SF?
Yeah, places in San Francisco.
I barely go out there.
Yeah, right. It's hella for. Oh yeah, they have one in near Sacramento, bro. Kitchen. Is that not her?
It's probably not her. Yeah,
okay.
She's like a smaller.
That's cool. We'll try and get the owner out here.
Yeah, definitely.
A podcast for you guys. Let's go ahead and jump into the Hella Misguided segment. Today we're gonna hear a little bit about Henry Cornelius' story and kind of his journey throughout college. Is what we're gonna focus on today. And man. Shit, where you want to start? We could go all the way back, or we could just go back.
I could take it to college because my college journey was pretty crazy. You know, I went to 4 different colleges. You know, my 5 years of my college. Plans.
Yeah.
I started off at the
4 colleges in 5 years.
Yeah, man. That was probably the hardest thing that I ever had to go through.
Man, that's crazy.
It was just, my first year, I went to, I got a scholarship to the University of Idaho.
Got a taste of everything.
Yeah, and then, I redshirted that year, and then after the season, the coach just decided that, I wasn't going to be a contributor to the team, so I had to transfer, and I went to National Junior College in Kansas, and that was hard because I was way out.
I seen you at the airport. Yeah. Remember?
Yep.
We had a team. Damn, that's hella funny. We were going somewhere. I think we were going somewhere. We had a game or something. And you were going somewhere. I was like, "Where are you at now?" And he was like, "I'm in Kansas." I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's crazy. What was the name of the college you went to in Kansas?
It was Cloud County Community College. It was like in a small, tiny little area in Kansas.
Man,
and not really much to do. All I really was focused on was just basketball and.
Aren't they like a really good team though?
Yeah, it was a really good team.
Were you close to? I don't know if you watched Last Chance U.
Yeah.
Were you anywhere near where
Independence?
Independence. Yeah.
We was. It was maybe about a 2-hour drive.
Oh, for sure. So you guys didn't play them or anything?
We played them. They was in our conference.
Yeah.
We played them one game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
but it was. Man, that year was crazy. I went through a lot. Like personally, you know what I'm saying. Like my mom was. Was diagnosed with breast cancer when I found, when I was in college. I mean, when I was during my year of junior college, so it was just, I had to do all of that, and at the same time, I'm trying to get out.
Yeah.
You go to junior college just so you can get a scholarship.
Yeah.
And so, that was probably the roughest part was I was trying to prove to myself, like,
you can do it.
Yeah, I can do it, and I can get a scholarship, so, it was a lot, man. It was tough, junior college is really a grind. You know, because everybody's trying to get out. Everybody trying to get that scholarship, especially at the national JUCO level. You know, it's different from California. You know, most guys is like
you're playing
on the team, but they some guys
playing with everyone who's like a D1 or 2 prospect or other bounce backs like yourself who are already at a D1.
It's serious out there, man. So if you're not coming in there hungry, ready to really want it, then. You're gonna get eat up, especially, playing, in Kansas. That was like one of the toughest conferences that I ever played in.
Man.
I played against guys who was going to Arizona and all these big time colleges, and I had to step up. And and thankfully, I was blessed enough to get a scholarship to Cal Poly Pomona.
That's what's up.
So, I went there.
Shout out to Broncos.
Yeah,
big time
shout
school,
out
man.
Shout out to Broncos.
It seemed like you had a lot of fun there, bro. Like
it was fun. You know what's crazy? I made it look like it was fun, but it was not fun.
It wasn't? Why wasn't?
I just didn't feel
comfortable.
I just didn't feel comfortable, and I just didn't feel like I belonged there.
Mike, how'd you feel? Because they both went to Cal Poly Pomona, and I almost went to Cal Poly Slow, which kind of has the same vibe there. So how'd you feel about Pomona?
So I was only at Cal Poly for a couple quarters, but man, I like Cal Poly a lot. It was cool. It was an interesting campus. They had some
big campus.
Big campus. They had some. They had horses on campus. They got a little stables and stuff.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was fun. I like the vibe. I mean, you're right next to LA. Actually in LA, but you get that vibe. I mean, people were cool.
Was it super white?
No, nah. It was diverse. It was diverse.
It was a super diverse.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a cool feel. It was a cool feel for me when I went there. Yeah, it was people were cool. Had that big campus life feel. So it was chill. Yeah.
Okay.
It was cool. I just say I was just didn't fit as far as like the team. Like the school it was cool. It was just the team. I was just struggling to really just get it going. And then I went from starting to coming off the bench to not playing to playing, and
you went through that roller coaster.
I went through that roller coaster.
I went through it too, bro. Everyone goes
through it.
It
was tough, man. And then and then after the season, because we had a bad season, Cal Poly Pomona. For most who don't know, listeners, don't know, Cal Poly Pomona is like the dominant.
Yeah, it's one of the top Division II basketball programs.
They always go to the national tournament.
Yeah, I think the year I left, they won it all. So yeah, they're a huge, they're a big time program.
Super. And then that year, that was like the worst year they ever had.
That's crazy.
And so they was telling us all the time, we're gonna make changes. Some of you guys aren't gonna be here and stuff like that. And I'm just like,
they telling you through the season?
Through the season, like the head coach, and I was just like, wow, and I in my mind, I'm like, man, I got a feeling they're not gonna want me to come back. Cause they only now everything changed. You used to get a scholarship. It was 4 years.
Yeah.
Now it's like year after year after year.
Yeah.
Your scholarship can
right,
taken.
Right. Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
And it's a business. Like how it is, bro. Like it's a business. Like they don't.
It's all politics, bro.
It's all politics.
Absolutely.
You're not having a good year, your scholarship can get taken, and they can easily replace you. That's why I tell kids who trying to go to college, like, hey, like you gotta have that work ethic.
Yeah.
Like if you don't come in there thinking like, oh yeah, I made it and you can just relax. Nah, you gotta grind the same way how you grinded to get there is the same way you gotta grind while you're there.
No, you gotta grind harder.
Harder.
It's like when you get to the top, you gotta grind harder than that grind to the top because everyone's coming after you.
Exactly.
And in your case, you're fighting for PT and everyone's fighting for PT.
But
it's not just you.
I slipped up big time because I got too comfortable.
Comfortability.
And I just was like, I stopped staying after practice and getting shots up. I just stopped doing all of that. Like I was just too comfortable with just being there, and I forgot to realize what the reason and the purpose of being there and trying to be great and trying to, saying it. And they end up saying at the end of the season like, oh, like we're gonna go a different route, and they saying like my scholarship was taken, and I'm just like, dang, like where do I go now?
Yeah,
and I started to feel like, man, am I good? Like, am I not good?
Right.
Like, I'm thinking like, I'm good enough to play college ball. And after that happened, man, I went through a huge ass depression. Like that summer, like I went through like the hardest depression. Like I didn't feel like going to go work out. I felt like all these negative thoughts in my mind, man. I was just like, man, like I'm like, what's going on with me? Like, what am I not doing?
Yeah.
Right. It's like
how'd you bounce back?
you know, I ended up getting a scholarship to Menlo College. It's in Atherton. It's a small, very small college, super small.
Super small. Yeah, my one of my good friends actually, after he went to he was a tight end for Sac State and ended up bouncing back. And then he got a scholarship to Menlo. Mm-hmm. The year he got a scholarship there, they actually shut down their football program. Yeah, that's crazy. You were there? Were you there?
No, I wasn't there, but I heard about it. It was like a few years before I even got there.
For sure.
Yeah, it was. But I heard about it. Though. Yeah. I heard about that story. They didn't have enough, money to kind of fund the football program and stuff like that.
They shut down our football program a couple of years before.
Really?
Oh, for real?
So we never got to experience
football
games. Also, I heard they sucked, so it's okay.
Yeah, but no, I got that scholarship, and I was still like coming into the season like just recovering from that depression. And, I ate a lot, because I was just so depressed, and I became overweight, and I had to work my way into shape.
Yeah, gotcha.
And even work my way into shape, I still had like a great ass season. Like we won 20 plus games, made it to the conference tournament, almost won the whole thing. We just lost to the number one ranked team who was in our conference.
Yeah. Were you started that initial season?
I was coming off the bench. I was like a 6 man.
Okay.
And the year before they had a bad season, so the coach was.
That's always good because 6 man ain't got that much pressure.
Yeah. So
you feel me?
Yeah, but but they expected me and like 2 other guys just come in and just change the whole program up.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm coming in there and like we just played good, and I just played good, and I ended up starting towards like the end of the season. And yeah, man, it was crazy, man. And in my senior year, we came in ranked 21 in the country, but then it took us a while to kind of get it going because we had a whole bunch of new guys.
For sure.
And by the time we figured it out, it was too late.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, man, but that was.
How was your time and how was your mental state once you got to Menlo? Like outside of basketball, just education wise, family wise. I know you said you were going through a tough time with your mom as well, being diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah, man. That was hard for me because I was far away.
Yeah.
And so like, she had told me when I came back from spring break, and she already had the surgery. And she told me like
after?
Yeah, she told me because she told me
that's
like
some shit my mom would do.
If she told me that like if she would have told me because all this happened while I was in season.
Yeah.
So I'm just
she didn't want you like.
She didn't want me to like to stress out, but I was like, dang, like how do I even take this? I'm just now being told this, and
right.
Luckily our season was already over with.
Yeah.
So I kind of, but even when I got back out there, I'm just like, man, like.
Yeah.
I was just going through it, and I'm just trying to get the scholarships, and it took a while for me to even get the Cal Poly Pomona scholarship. Yeah. Like, it wasn't until the summer where I really got it. Yeah. So I'm just like, and even when I was at Menlo, like my junior year, I also went through a lot too, as far as like, I lost, my brother to gun violence, he was shot and killed at Antioch, and then I had lost my auntie who had passed away due to lung cancer. So I was just like, I was coming into the season depressed, and I went through this, and I'm just like, man, but it's crazy. I don't know how. I still to this day I don't know how I did. I still had a great season.
Yeah.
So
well, you took it out, and you took your anger out in basketball.
I had to.
I mean, that's kind of what we did, in high school and before that. You're like conditioned to, you're depressed or you're angry. Go shoot some hoops. You feel me?
So. Yeah, man, dude, that was crazy, and like it wasn't until the summer going into my senior year where I really started to find happiness with me.
Okay.
Like I was just, I decided to stay after school and just work out in the summer, do summer workouts up there and stuff like that. I ended up getting like a job up there, and I was just working out, every day. I was with my girl every day. And that's when I really started to get happy. That's when I started to love basketball because even that year, I didn't love basketball as much as I should have. But it wasn't until that summer I was like, oh yeah, I love the game.
Yeah, I can relate to that so much because through my 4 years at Colorado, I went through all the ups and downs you did, but you did it at 4 different colleges. But I did it at one, just under one coach, under one roof, and it was so hard because. I don't know about you, but for 2 years, I was the only black person on the team. So it just
what's crazy? When I came to Menlo, it was me and 2 other guys who was black.
Yeah.
And we was the only black people.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. The year before I got there, they had like all white players.
Oh,
so the coach was trying. He was like, man, we need
some fucking diversity.
Yeah,
we need some athleticism.
We need some athleticism. So they came and got me and two other players, and even after school, like it was like that. It was more white people than it was black people.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of shocking for me. Like, dang man, like it's.
Yeah.
Like, how can I find a way to fit in?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to fit in.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm close to home. Like, I got to find a way to fit in through the school. But it kind of took a while because I'm like, like, how can, because growing up, I've been around, diverse, especially in Berkeley. Like, you grow up, you're around different cultures. You learn about different cultures and you embrace it. But then when you just with one culture, it kind of takes away. Idaho,
it takes away your culture.
Yeah, it was like Idaho. I was, it was that same way.
I don't know how you
Kansas, it was the same way. Like all the athletes were black.
Yeah.
So it was just like, damn. Like, do we have to do something? Do we have to just entertain people in order to get to get to college?
Yeah.
Because that's all we was taught. Like like the only way to get out is to either play ball or rap. And so you're not. And it's sad because kids don't know that you can be successul doing something else. Like you can just go to school.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can get scholarships just for
going to school.
Just for being great in school.
And you really don't know. You don't know that.
Like, also, you don't even need to go to school nowadays.
True. You can just know just about wealth, like with your taxes and just with all these other things. Like school is a simple factor to just gaining more knowledge.
Yeah.
But if for people who just decide like, oh, like school isn't for me, that's good. But if you have a plan,
right,
then go do that. If you're just going, oh, school isn't for me, you're just working, then it's just like, what's the purpose?
Let's talk about that. Let's what was the most valuable thing you learned in college? And we'll go down the line. We'll talk about Mike and then me. But what was the most valuable thing you think college experience gave to you?
I think for me, because I learned a lot just, from basketball and outside of it.
Okay.
But mainly in basketball, just with life, as far as just like not expecting to have it all, in a sense where, like I'm coming in and I'm thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play right away. I'm gonna be good, and it's just in life, it don't work out that way.
Yeah.
Like you gotta really come in there with a different mindset.
Yeah.
And coming in as a high schooler, I didn't know this thing.
Yeah.
Like I just thought like, you get a scholarship, you good, you're gonna be a superstar out there. They're gonna love you. They go.
Yeah.
But if you don't come in there and willing to work, and also at the same time, networking. Cause you can get your degree, but if you don't network while you're there, it's gonna be hard for you to even get a job.
Yeah.
So now, but they don't teach you that. You just gotta learn that through yourself. You gotta actually like put yourself out there because, it's just not that way. So I learned that just putting your name out there, getting to know people, even if you don't do internships in the summer, but still just talking to people alums who work at big time companies, just trying to talk to them and just.
That's for me. That's my biggest thing that I took from college, and that's the thing that I always tell people. The biggest thing that I got from college was my network, learning how to build a network. When I was my senior year, in one of my sales management classes, an area sales manager came in and spoke to us that worked for Coca-Cola, and he was a black guy. Mm-hmm. And I had some boys in my class with me that were literally falling asleep during this dude's presentation. Seemed like nobody was really paying attention. I was paying attention. When he left, I chased this guy down, got his business card. I was like, man, your presentation was great. I don't see a lot of black people in corporate doing what you're doing.
That's crazy.
I ended up getting he got me the job.
He got both of us
literally 2 days after. Got me the job literally 2 days after I graduated. With a a bigger salary than I knew anybody else coming at. It started me off at $70,000. He was like my man. He was like, the guy above me is black too, and he's gonna like you. You know what I'm saying? He got me a big salary. Ended up getting Juwan a job there. Got my business partner, business partner Josiah, that's been on here too. Got him a job at Coca-Cola that's led him to a way bigger job that he's working at now in LA. You know what I'm saying? And that was just off of me, paying attention and to a presentation that a guy had, that he made a presentation to in my class, when a lot of other people didn't take it seriously. I think maybe one or two other people went up and talked to him after the presentation. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were just sitting there on their phones, like, taking it like, oh, we have a presenter today in class. We're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, just doing things like that. And also meeting my business partner, my first business partner I met in college, you know? And we were able to, build a great relationship. He's one of my closest friends now. We started, a really good business together.
You should listen to that episode, actually. It's one of the episodes, Josiah and Malik.
I'm gonna go.
Listen to the episode. He tells his story and what their business that they do and kind of his background of how he started. He's actually on 2 episodes, so look for his name in the title. It's pretty good episode, man.
Yeah, definitely. But just a network, man. That helped me build, even bigger network outside of that. So that's the biggest thing I got from college, for sure. But
that's facts, man. And shout out to what is his name? The guy.
Oh, Bobby Brown.
Bobby
Brown.
He's now with like Pepsi now.
Red Bull actually.
Red Bull. He's with Red Bull now.
Wow.
But he was there for he was working at Coke for over 20 years. He had a crazy story too.
Bro, everyone loved him. So I worked for Coca-Cola too, and everyone in the office knew that guy. When he walked into a building, everyone lit up and was like, Bobby, everyone talks great about him.
Yep.
And that's the guy who walked into class and everyone wanted to fall asleep on him. So
and it's also great to actually gain friendships, because you never know, you never know, especially in college, you never know, they might work at a big time job, but they might be able to help you out, especially as athletes, we think that hey, we just gonna go and just play our sport and not worry about when college is over with. It's a slight chance that you're not gonna play at the professional level, but you don't think that.
That's true.
You got the scholarship. I'm good. I'm more than good.
True.
But you don't think about life. I know I didn't. I didn't think of life outside of basketball. And I'm just now trying to figure that out. Being retired, trying to figure out my own identity, and trying to figure out where do I go from here.
Okay.
Since when I was in college, I'm like, man, I don't even tripping off that.
Nah, that's huge. Basketball for life.
Yeah.
I feel it. I say my biggest and most valuable thing I learned would have to be definitely network is up there. Network and relationships are up there. But since you guys already talked about, I'm gonna talk about brotherhood because, like I said, when I went in, I was the only black kid for 2 years. Crazy thing is, my coach was black, so I expected him to, as weird as it sounds, almost be like a father figure in a sense, but kind of guide me. And bring me a little closer to the team. He didn't do that. So it just kind of was like a double fucking whammy for me. But the brothers around me, my teammates, they kind of brought me in. And their families brought me in, which was my mom couldn't afford to be at every game like their families could. Their families would fly in from Arizona, fucking Idaho, and be at a random game on a Tuesday. My mom couldn't do that, so they would really take care of me after the games and before the games, and they would always invite me to whatever family stuff they're doing, which is when my son goes, I'm for sure doing that. You know what I mean? And that helped get me mentally through each season. And come back and be like, I want to go back. Because the bond we have, even if we're, losing at sometimes or winning, which we were really good, so it didn't really matter, but it just felt like home at times with being around them, and then the relationships building, and then now back to the networking relationships. Now we're all working in different parts of the corporate world, so if I ever had a fall off, now I have hand-to-hand referrals. It's if I ever want to move to New York, now I have connections. If I ever want to move to Miami, wherever.
Juwan is close with every single one of his
all of us.
Yeah.
He goes on all the trips. I go with all of them.
And it's crazy because everybody's doing something different, and they're all doing really positive things. So that's a huge network in itself.
One of my teammates' moms, every time she goes to travel fucking to Italy or anywhere out of this overseas, she'll send me a postcard. my mom, that's dope. That's second moms, you feel me?
That's dope.
She'll send me a text message when Kai was born, just the relationships that mean the most.
So definitely. Yeah, I think we all really spoke on building relationships and networking, significantly. Like, nobody mentioned, like, a class or, you feel me, a
class.
Skill.
I would say, for me, it was kind of like, when I went into it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to dive into business.
Yeah.
Because that was the only thing I know, because it's crazy, like, in high school, like, you don't really know about, like, all the different options you can choose from when you get to college.
Yeah.
As far as degrees. And then when I got there, I was just like, okay, what am I really going to do? What am I really going to focus on?
Yeah.
And so I went in there, I'm like, I'm going to just do business, because that was all I knew about.
Yeah.
But then, I started to learn more about just myself through those 4 years, and I was like, okay, well, let me... I like teaching. I like, helping kids out and stuff like that. So then I did liberal studies. Yeah. And then when I got to Menlo, they were business school.
Yeah.
So, and then I was just like, okay, so I'm like, I don't know. And then I was just like, they had psychology, available. So I'm like, okay, I can, let me see. I'm like, I don't know if I can, dive into people's minds and all that stuff. When I started to get into the classes, man, it was just like, it was relatable.
Yep.
Especially when I went through, I was like, okay, this is relatable.
I'm going to comment on that real quick, because that's important. It's so funny how, like, or it's not really funny, but, like, a lot of the black people think, when they think of psychology, they think of, like, people diving into minds and mind readers, right?
Yeah.
It's because we're not really taught, like, actually what psychology is. It's about behavior and how you can relate it to your actions. But when you're growing up, a lot of black people think it's like, oh, you psychology, bro, so you can read my mind. You feel me? That's what you get. It's funny that you mentioned that, because that's kind of like what I went into. I didn't really think that. I was like, oh, like, I'm sure, because I studied psychology, right? Mm-hmm. And so I thought coming home, a lot of people like asked me like, what'd you do? Psychology. So what, you gonna be like a therapist? Like, no, like there's a lot of other stuff you can do.
So a lot of more stuff. Like when I was taking them classes, I was just like, it's crazy how you can analyze so many different things from a person's just, not even just what they say, but just what they actions.
Well, I was going to say the most important thing is analyzing interaction. Like,
exactly.
Being able to sit here and watch the film on this and analyze how we're
it's crazy.
And our body language. Or now it's like I know when someone's lying off the bat, just because of everything I've learned, and then actually going through like me trying to be a police officer after college, and then them trying to like analyze me. So I got like the whole shebang, and now everything I see is like psychology.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
As opposed to like you just read minds. It's not. It is funny.
Yeah, it's super funny.
Another misconception, we try to guide you in the right direction. Psychology is not just about reading minds. But yeah, man. I think all those are great points for
definitely.
Real.
But yeah, definitely. Real quick before we wrap up, one of the big questions I want to ask you, especially since we're on this topic of psychology, because the best class I ever took in my life in college or at all was sports psychology.
Loved it. Yeah. Fucking best. Sorry, I got so excited. Best class.
What I wanted to touch on, especially because we're all black men. We're all college athletes, so we're all athletes for most of our lives. And you touched on it earlier about identity, and I feel like one of the biggest things, one of the biggest I would say like setbacks or one of the biggest obstacles in the black community is kind of figuring out your identity outside of being an athlete or outside of being a music artist, or because like you said, those are kind of like the ways that we are taught to be successful. So like you, as somebody who's recently retired, you played overseas and everything, what is next for you? How hard speak on how the struggle has been finding your identity outside of being an athlete.
It's crazy because like when I recently came back from playing, I went to play in Argentina, and what I thought was how it was gonna be turned out not to be.
And explain that a little bit. What you vision?
So when I got we got offered to go play overseas, I was just like,
how'd that happen too, by the way?
It's crazy. So it took me. The process was super long. I started it once after my senior year. I took a couple weeks off and I just went right into it. It took me a long time to really get things going. It was days and moments I'm just like, man, this is not going.
It's not gonna work.
Like, man, like, am I gonna even go and play overseas? And I was just watching, guys that I played against or played with who was getting, you know, these overseas offers. I'm just like, man, like, what's going on with me? And, you know, and I was just reaching out and just asking guys, and it's like, you know, it's a process. Some guys get offered, you know, right off the bat. Some guys get offered really late. You just got to just wait your turn and just be patient. And so I was just being patient, but it was just like, I'm just like, man, come on, man, let me get one. And then I got one, and it was Argentina, and, you know, it was in a good league and stuff like that. I'm just like, all right, you know, and then when I got down there, it was just like, man, I just was not feeling it. You know, like.
Why, though? It was,
you know, like, the community was cool, you know, the people were real cool, but I just didn't feel like I was, you know, like I was valued. I felt less than, you know, like
because you're a business asset.
Yeah, exactly, you know, and when I got down there, I realized how stressful it is. And, you know, I didn't know how stressful it is. Like, you know, you got guys going down there, and they literally, like, just, you know, me, myself, like, I was just literally just killing myself.
Man.
Like, on the court.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you'll get recognized for it, sometimes you won't, but it's a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know, like, you not just being away from your family, but, you know, just what the fact is like, sometimes, like, you may not get paid on time.
Man.
Like, it took me a while. It took me a while to get my first paycheck.
That's crazy.
You know.
And why is that? Or is it just because you don't understand the
economy
system?
Economy, like, you know, like, especially like in the third world country, like, you know, it takes them a while to kind of get, you know, trade from, you know, their money, their pesos to American dollars.
Yeah. Right. Did you you got paid in American dollars?
I got paid in American dollars.
But they got paid in like Argentina.
Some like the local guys, like who's from there, but like the American guys.
Why'd you get paid in American dollars when you're living out there? Don't you still have to spend their money?
I mean, I did, but you know, it wasn't like, well, you know, they paid for like my food, and you know, I was living.
Do they pay for rent?
They pay for rent, so like I had my own room. I was living like in a house with like two of my other teammates and stuff. Like that was cool.
Yeah, that is cool. It's like college.
it was cool.
But
you know, like
college.
Yeah, man, but I felt so alone, man.
Yeah,
like, I was just like, man, like, because when I got there, I'm like, man, I'm gonna be a superstar, I'm gonna be loved, like, this is what I want. And then when I got there, I'm just like, this is not what I want. Like,
how big were the games, bro?
The games were like, man, they take it so serious. Like,
bro, basketball in other countries is like low key.
They take it personal. I'm talking about my very first game as a professional athlete. I'm talking about like when we like arrived to the arena.
Yeah. It's an arena, guys. Arena.
Like it was already packed.
Yeah.
Before we even got dressed, like we walking into the gym and it's just they already packed. They ready to go. Man, and man, like I was just like, and it was a road game for me, and I'm just like, wow. It was like 10,000 people there. I was just like, oh,
that's crazy.
That's cool.
That's sick as fuck.
And I had a good game.
And like they all, bro, no matter who you are, especially like if you're over there and they see a black dude, they're like, oh, he's good.
Oh yeah.
I want his autograph.
Oh yeah, bro. I was talking about. I took numerous pictures, photos, signed autographs.
They probably didn't even know you. That was just like,
all of that was cool. And then when I you know, but I wasn't playing a lot.
Yeah,
And I was playing behind another American, and he was older, and it was just like he wasn't really showing me no love. You know, and I'm just like, hey, bro, like we two black men, like you older, you supposed to be showing me the ropes of everything. So, like, you know, and that's I would have done. That's what I would have done. You know, if I'm a vet, you know, he kind of looked at me as competition. As for me, I'm just like,
saw you as a threat.
I'm your little brother, bro.
For me, I'm just like, you know, it should be enough food on the table for everybody to eat. That's how I always think of. You know, if it's people, I don't care if we playing basketball, whatever the case is, like. You know, still to this day, I help, like, if guys reach out to me as far as, like, hey, how did you go overseas? And I help them out. I'll be like, hey, reach out to this agent or whatever the case is, because I want people to be successful, too. Like, I don't...
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be. It shouldn't be as black people, I feel like we always in competition with one another.
Yeah.
Like, we need to be more supportive, no matter if they doing the same thing as far as music, whatever the case is, just be more supportive. And that's, in that sense, like, he was just looking at me as a competition. Yeah. So that's why I felt alone, because I'm just like, man, like, I know Spanish because, you know, my girlfriend's Spanish, but I don't know it fluently. So I'm trying to figure things out. I'm trying to understand. And the coaches, they all of them spoke Spanish. Well, I had one that spoke English. His was kind of okay, but I understood him. Yeah. But I'm just like, all right, like, I'm trying to figure out everything. I'm not from around here. This is my first time not out of the country, but like.
Actually living out there.
Living out there. I'm just like, okay, like, somebody got to help me out. Yeah. But it was just like, man, I was just by myself, like, all the time. And I just felt so sad and so depressed. I'm just like, man, I gotta come home. I gotta figure this out. So I just, I told my agent, I'm like, hey, like, this is not working out for me here. Like, we need to find another route. And then I came back home for Christmas, and and then that's when the pandemic started to, wind up.
Timing.
And then what led to my decision was, to me retiring, was that, I was, once I started to realize how, like, because in these countries, the economy, they lost a lot. Like in the U.S., it's different. But in these other countries, like, they was losing a lot. Like, in an economy, so they said it's going to take some years for them to finally, like, get back to things where they can have Americans come and and play overseas. And so I was just like, man, like, do I want to keep struggling? Because I realized, like, in that process, like, I was struggling as far as, like, I was sacrificing way too much. Like, when you want to get somewhere, you're gonna sacrifice. But if you're sacrificing way too much, where you're losing yourself and everything else, that's why I was like, all right, like, I need to put this chapter of my life over with, and start a new one and be okay, because I was like, okay, I can be okay with myself, like, saying, I made it to a professional level, whether or not it turned out, even though, like, it didn't turn out the best, and I was just like, man, I'm gonna play till I'm 35, and that's great for me. But then I was just like, dang, I'm retiring and I'm about to be 25. Like, what's going? I was tripping. I'm like, man, am I too young? Like, I feel like I'm young. Like, I'm in my prime. But it was just the best decision for me, man. Just stepping away and kind of starting a new chapter, a new career for me. And now I'm trying to, for me, I still want to be evolved around the game of basketball. Like, for me, it's like either I've been really on my mind to really be trying to get into coaching.
Go help JJ at break the out.
Yeah, man.
Everybody loves
coaching,
JJ.
Man. I just see it as far as just like, man, with these kids, as far as, because for me, while I was in high school, I didn't know, my knowledge for not just with basketball but just in life was so lost. And I feel like me being a coach, I can kind of not only guide these young men and women, but whether I be a boys coach or girls, but just helping them as far as just like guiding them to what life is going to be once you get into college, and what to expect, because I didn't know that. I didn't know like what to expect when you get to college.
Let's talk about that. So for the guided conclusion section, we're gonna start wrapping it up. I want to talk about my question for you guys is, what would you have known? What do you wish you would have known going into college? Since we all went to college, we all played sports, and kind of that was our life, and how we were taught to kind of mature as adults is through sports. What did you wish you knew, or someone had told you before you went to college?
Oh, for me, man, I'd definitely say nitpicking, as far as like figuring out what you want to do.
So finding a niche.
Exactly, for what it is that you want to do when when them playing days are over. Because you don't want to get to a point where where it's over and you're just trying to figure out what you want to do. Like, you want to know that while you're playing.
So that's another is like almost like multitasking. Like,
exactly.
you still playing basketball, but what else are you doing? Are you doing any entrepreneurship? I already know where's your ears is going, so we're gonna go.
It's crazy. Let me touch on that one. Another thing too, as far as just like with me, like when I got to Menlo College, I had joined a group, and it was like a Black leaders group, and we would talk about issues that was racism and stuff, and that's when I really started to pay attention to what was going on in the world. Growing up, I was so focused on just the basketball world, and if stuff wasn't evolved around basketball, I wasn't really tripping about politics and racism. I wasn't tripping on until I got in that group, and I started to really focus and pay attention on things that was happening, and we started to do events, as far as just like, protesters and things like that, and it really caught my attention. Like, man, like, I need to have a voice. I need to speak up about things that are going on, and how important that is, especially as a Black man, especially how with police brutality and all these things, they speak about it, because I need to let my voice be heard, especially to I was at an all white school, and it wasn't a lot of Black people, but we got into this group and we kind of let our voices be heard, to let them know, like, hey, like, to give them awareness as far as no, like, hey, like, this is what's going on with us. Like, you may not see it, you may not have grown up to see it, but this is what we deal with every single day.
And I want to shout out the black leaders who take on those groups in colleges, who actually lead those groups, because I was at an all white school too as well, and we had a black student union, but unfortunately, and it was pretty big too, but the athletes kind of couldn't really make the meetings because practice was 3 times a fucking day, and it was just at terrible times. So what I took up the thing is I created our own group. So at the school I created that shit was called SAMLU, Student Athlete Minority Leadership Union. Hella long, I know. Nice. But it was for all the black athletes, and even we had some white people come in, and we held our own black student union. Kind of catered to our schedules. We had people on the soccer team, and stuff like that, and we kind of tried to take off from there. Super hard, man. That shit is time consuming. Like we had all this vision of getting guest speakers, alumni and stuff, and like it's super hard to lead those groups. So I just want to shout out all the leaders in black student unions and everyone who kind of takes the front lead. We thank you, because that shit is not easy. We got hella flies in here for some reason. The window shit was open. Working on the house, and the garage was open all day. But anyways, what's your shit? We're gonna wrap it up here. We're at over an hour.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, for me, the biggest thing for me is just that I wish I would have known was just taking education outside of school more serious.
Man,
so
that is crazy.
All the best things I learned, I didn't learn in school. So like, I don't regret college. I loved college, but I just wish that I would have, because all of the things that changed my life the most was reading. And all the books that have really like put me on the path that I am now, I started reading when I was 23. Rich Dad Poor Dad, The 4-Hour Work Week, Crushing It by Gary Vee, The Power of Broke by Damon John, like things like books, entrepreneurial books, really like just, I always knew I want to be an entrepreneur, but actually reading about those books and real estate books and things like that really just changed something in me and really just had me go full steam ahead. So if I just wish I would have started reading those books earlier when I was 18, when I just first started, or even before that when I was in high school. I put all my my learning, I put it all in the teacher's hands and all in the school system's hands. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn everything from what they're teaching me.
I like that.
Like I didn't even think about like it's like being an athlete. It's like it's like playing basketball. It's like as if if you guys being basketball players, like I'm only gonna let the coach teach me. I'm not gonna go and put up jump shots outside of practice and things. That's what I did with school. I was like, I'm only gonna learn in the classroom. Like
that's how I used to feel, man.
If I would have took outside education serious, like man, my trajectory would be way higher right now. So
like my question that I have is, why is it that being in high school, most high schoolers, especially as athletes, don't really take school serious? Like why is it that like they just kind of like and then when they get to college it's like a old they get overwhelmed. Like, why is it that you think like high schoolers don't really get taught the importance of, especially as athletes, like a high school athlete? Why they don't take
I honestly think it's because that's the way our parents were taught. That's the structure, so that even your parents don't, or at least my parents and people that I know, like I would assume that like they didn't tell you, like they didn't emphasize for you to learn things outside of school. They were like school, like if your parents are serious about education, they were serious about go to school on time, listen to your teachers, but they weren't telling you to like, hey, go read a book a day outside, or go research this, or go do this and that. It's like school, like education system over everything. So I feel like that if that's being instilled onto you, and then that's being instilled on your children, then that's all they're gonna think about, And then people get tired of the traditional school system. Like that's why high school kids, like you're saying, they weren't taking school seriously because maybe school, like they weren't teaching you things that you felt like were valuable. But you've had people go in right now and teach you about like, hey, we're not going to teach you about the Pythagorean theorem and this. We're going to teach you about, hey, this is how you do your taxes. This is how you can get some money back on your taxes. This is how you can start a business at age 14 and start writing off business expenses.
They don't even teach you real history. Like I learned real history outside of social media.
Exactly. Exactly. We're not going to teach you about Henry VIII today. We're going to teach you about some prominent people in your community that actually did stuff.
Or
what I'm saying? We're gonna teach you about how Berkeley became Berkeley. We're gonna teach you about the activists in Berkeley.
That would be so dope. I would love, and people will actually be like excited to be in class.
Yeah.
Maybe not excited, but they being more in tune.
Yeah.
You feel me? Instead of learning.
Hey,
about
Juwan,
some
did
shit
you ever take that Black History class at Berkeley High? Remember that one Black History class?
The Black History teacher.
Like yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
he was.
But
I never got it.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
I didn't even have any Black History classes available.
We had one, but it was just like,
Yeah.
but it was just one, and it was, our school was so big.
Yeah.
And everybody was trying to fight to get into that one class, and it was like, all right, I can't get into it. Like,
That's crazy too.
But yeah, no, those are, dude, amazing point. That's like, I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't really know what else to say. Both of you guys had amazing points. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up though. I want to thank you for coming, bro.
Yeah,
thanks for inviting me, man. This was real good, man.
Super dope to hear your story and kind of, let the audience know that life is a roller coaster, man.
Yeah, man, definitely.
But now it's good that you found your happiness, and although you may still be searching for what you want to do, now you know, and you can teach other people.
Exactly, that's the biggest thing. That's all I was gonna say. There's so many people that can learn from your story.
Yeah,
so many people, man,
and the fact that you're willing to go out there and teach, like you said, coach, and show the youth, which that's all we need, man. That's what we need more of you, bro.
The importance of just what you know and what you gain is being able to teach it to others so that they can have knowledge of it and they can spread it down. That's the purpose. Is you want to get whatever it is that you learn from people, whether it be through sports or just in life, you want to pass it down. Just keep passing it down.
Yep. Yes, sir. Well, hey, that is the Misguided Podcast, where we intend to guide you to a better future. My name is Juwan Rohan. I'm here with my co-host, Michael Johnson, and our guest, Henry Cornelious. Anything you got to say, bro, to wrap this up?
I'm just thankful to being here, man.
Thank you, man. What's your Instagram?
Go ahead. It is _DreamTeam31.
_DreamTeam31.
Sure.
Mine is at Juwan Rohan Music, and
you can find me at Mikey F5.
And you can hit us up at the Misguided Podcast on all social media. You can email us any questions at themisguidedpod@gmail.com. And we're going to play a banger for you right now. Have a good week, y'all.
Take care.
Yes, sir. Great vibe, bro.